South Carolina Senator Tim Scott continues to assert that he was not going to support a George Floyd Justice Act that actually limited or cut funds for police. Democrats continue to insist that was not the case. You had a couple of police unions that came out yesterday with a strong statement saying there was nothing in the bill that actually said that. And so I actually reached out to Senator Tim Scott. He cited several sections in the bill. He said he was going to have his staff send me a copy of the bill. That was last night. I'm still waiting. I'm still asking, where is it in the bill where he asserts funding was going to be cut, which he keeps saying is to defund the police? I can't find it. Maybe my next guest knows what he's talking about. Lynda Williams, she, of course, is the president of NOBLE, the National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Executives. She joins me now from Nashville. Lynda, glad to have you on the show. You had a couple of unions come out yesterday and said there was nothing in this legislation that would actually defund the police. Senator Tim Scott continues to insist that that is the case. Have you seen any evidence to support the position that he is taking at the bill that Democrats were proposing was going to make financial cuts to the police?
Thank you, Roland. Good to have to be here again. And let me correct, I'm immediate past president. I just passed the torch.
Okay,
but I was very pivotal in my presidency all of last year, and that is not correct. Matter of fact, Noble sat at the table to help create the language for the bill. We concur with the IACP and FOP that was never the language. Additional funding has been given, and a matter of fact, for training and accreditation and even other data collection initiatives. So that is not correct. The Democrats nor anyone that sat down talked about defunding the police.
Well, and again, like I say, I mean, I hit him up and I wanted to know specifically what he was talking about. And what he said to me was that sections, this is what he said, read sections 113, 114, 202, 204, 363, 382, and he said, and more. It's pretty clear. I'm still waiting on his team to actually send me the bill to actually see that. But I said, I'm still confused. You keep saying it's clear. How these unions, though, are saying that's not true. I think they would be probably more inclined to make it clear that they would not support something that actually cuts funding. So what is he talking about?
And that's a good question. I am glad that other major organizations have spoken up so they don't think that it's one-sided. I don't know all of those numbers, but I'm very familiar with the bill. Matter of fact, as the national president of the National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Executives, we tried repeatedly to call Tim Scott's office, and he never returned the call. I sat at the table with Cory Booker and even worked on legislation and, op-eds with Sheila Jackson Lee. We're very, very much on the same page, and where he comes from left field to use this as a stall tactic, it's just not fair, and it's not true, because it's not any language that was created and that we worked to put into the bill.
So let me correct this. Let me be real clear. You're saying that the National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Executives reach out to Senator Tim Scott to sit with him to discuss this bill, and his office never returned Noble's calls.
That is correct. As national president, when we sat at the table repeatedly with Cory Booker and others, just to get an understanding so that we could have our voice, so that we could put the language that would be a benefit for, community engagement for police officers, as well as a better, rapport with our communities. And so in trying to do so and to level the playing field that we could get feedback from both sides, we never received a call back from Scott's office.
So what do you think should happen now? You have the White House that says they are going to move forward with an executive order, but the reality is, according to that statement yesterday from these other unions, they said there needs to be a national standard and when it comes to policing, so you don't have this patchwork of different rules and laws from different states. So even though you have the executive order, you still need the enforcement of the law. What would you say to Senator Tim Scott Senator Cory Booker, would you say, hey, get back to the table, stop spending all this damn time on doing television interviews, and hammer out a deal?
You say it better than I can, Roland. Absolutely. Get back in. You know, this is something that our country, this is not, you know, anything that's to divide us. You know, law enforcement is an extension of the communities. And the fact that we're at this repasse that we are now, it's time that we sit down, forget our differences, and work on our commonalities, that law enforcement are here as the guardians of the community. And of course, that means to protect the rights and the responsibilities law enforcement have, but to make them accountable to the communities that we protect and serve. So time is out for, you know, all the interviews and the stalling tactics. We need to get to the table and come back with something. Something is better than nothing, and we all have to give and take. But it's something at a time in our history that would mark this moment in history for those generations to come, that we couldn't get it right. But the time is now, and the time has passed, that we have to put aside our difference and have the transformation that we need in law enforcement in our communities.
And, you know, I've reached out to different families. The George Floyd family, not happy at all with what is taking place. They're deciding what is next. You know, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I think what should happen is simple. I think the George Floyd family and other families should come to Washington, D.C., and they actually, before they come, they should say, we are calling a meeting and we want Scott at the table. We want Graham at the table. We want McConnell at the table. We want Booker at the table. We want Schumer at the table and Senator Dick Durbin at the table, and say, we want y'all to meet with us to explain to us why y'all can't come to a deal. I think this is the moment where the families of those affected, Walter Scott family, there in South Carolina, all those families should say, no, we're going to come to Capitol Hill and see if y'all are willing to sit down with us. And then, and you know what? Bring the cameras in and say, share with us, tell us to our face why y'all can't come to a deal.
And, you know, I'm with you. If you keep doing the same thing the same way, you're going to keep getting the same results. All of those persons that sit on Capitol Hill, those are public servants. They are not above reproach or above the law. And maybe it takes the outcry from citizens, from folks like the George Floyd family and so many other that have become, you know, victims of this ongoing tragedy in our country. So I stand with them. You know, the time is now. We can't keep pushing the envelope. You know, we don't want a repeat of what has happened. We need some relational transformation in this country. And if it starts from the very citizens and the law enforcement agencies and the congressmen and legislation for this uniform and these standards, we have to do that. It has to be law, because if we leave it at the discretion of law enforcement, then we'll continue with the same issues that we have always had. The time is now. We have to come together and set aside our differences. It's not a black and white. It's not a red and blue. It's an American problem. And as citizens of America, we have to do better.
All right. Lynda Williams, immediate past president of Noble. Well, appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. And you take care and keep up the good fight.
It's time to be smart.
Roland Martin's doing this every day.
Oh, no punches!
Thank you, Roland Martin, for always giving voice to the issues.
Look for Roland Martin in the whirlwind, to quote Marcus Garvey again.
The video looks phenomenal, so I'm really excited to see it on my big screen.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
See, this difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
I got to defer to the brilliance of Dr. Carr and to the brilliance of the Black Star Network.
I am rolling with Roland all the way. Honored to be on a show that you own. A black man owns the show.
Folks, Black Star Network is here.
I'm real revolutionary right now. Roland was amazing on there.
Stay black. I love y'all.
I can't commend you enough about this platform that you've created for us to be able to share who we are, what we're doing in the world, and the impact that we're having.
Let's be smart. Bring your eyeballs home.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared. You dig?